The movie Exodus comes out, and Paul Newman, and it's the story of the nationalization of Israel, that miracle in a day.
Yes.
A nation becomes a nation in a day, 1948.
Yes.
Thank God for Harry Truman.
Yes, amen. Amen.
And so I was so moved by that film, and then the music, bum 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 bum, and I thought, man, it gave me goosebumps. I want to sing that, and I had my manager contact the publisher of the music. There was a big record for Ronnie Teicher piano duo, instrumental, but that was all. It was just the music, no words. So I wanted to know what the words were. And it came back, there won't be any words. There are no words. There won't be any words. Why? Because this was transmitted by my manager from the publisher. There are 3 men who have a right to veto any proposed lyrics, and there were lyrics, words proposed and submitted by professional songwriters. They too wanted there to be words to that melody. Yeah. But one or another, Ernest Gold, the composer, wrote the music, or the publisher, Chapel Music, or a very opinionated, strong man, Otto Preminger, who had directed and produced the film.
Wow.
And one or another would turn down any lyric that was submitted, so the publisher said, so there won't be any words. It'll just remain an instrumental theme, like Clair de Lune, or Polonaise, or one of those melodies.
Right.
And I just couldn't accept that, and so it was a Christmas Eve. Shirley was asking me to come help her get the presents under the tree, and get so we could go to bed, because we knew the kids were going to get us up early. She said, Pat, come on, you're missing the joy of Christmas. I said, let me just put the needle on this record one more time. I'm trying to get an idea for a lyric to submit to a professional writer. So I put the needle down, bum, 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 and the words, this land is mine, came. I thought, that's the whole story of Exodus right there, those 4 words. This land is mine. God gave this land to me.
Wow, wow.
I said, I got to write this down. I grabbed something. I was afraid I would forget, you know?
Yeah.
And I wrote those words, and then I put the needle back again, and it kept on with the melody, and almost as fast as I could put the needle down and back, I wrote the words in about 20 minutes.
Wow.
All the lyrics of the song.
Wow.
I changed a couple of words just to make it sing better, but the content was there until I die. This land is, if I have to fight, I'll fight to make this land our home until I die. This land is mine. A personal declaration, not trying to find a rhyme for the word Exodus, which I don't think I have found.
Yeah. That's right.
It was not that. It was a personal, it's a very singular declaration, except, and I knew already that men and women fought like as soldiers, side by side. So take my hand and walk this land with me. Walk this golden land with me. The words just kept coming. And I wrote them down, submitted them to the publisher, and immediately all 3, Otto Preminger, the publisher, Ernest Gold, all said, yes, these are the words to the song.
Wow. That's amazing. Now, that's a God song. That's a God song.
Really. I knew it was given to me to write simply as a scribe, to write the words down. And I recorded, first the recording of the song, and others have, a lot of great people, Andy Williams and Jan Pierce, opera singers, and all have recorded it, and it thrills me to hear them sing these words, and I know they sing it better than I can, but never more feelingly or more earnestly than I do. So now years go by, and I've sung it all over the world. In South Africa, when I was there in 1960, I kept turning down the offers to come to South Africa because I say, I understand you have a policy, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it right, apartheid. And they said yes, and if, though you want me to come, and I'd like to, and they're offering a lot of money, but if a black person or an Indian or somebody wants to come, and they have the money to buy the ticket, they can't come to my show. That's right, that's our policy. Well then, I'm not trying to tell you how to run your country, but I just can't come under those terms.
Come on.
So,
come on.
They came back twice more, offering more money, and the answer had to be the same. So finally, behind closed doors, and I could never tell this story later until now. I promised I wouldn't. Mm-hmm. But they said, look, we want so much for you to come. The government is willing, if you will not publicize this, we're willing to suspend the policy of apartheid for your concerts.
Come on.
For your concerts.
Come on.
And so that was 1960.
Yeah.
And so I did go to South Africa. I appeared all over the country. There were death threats. We had security police salted into the audience because some would say, if you sing in front of a mixed crowd, that you won't leave the stage alive.
Wow.
And so I used to just stand at the mic about like this and sing my songs. But in those shows, I was moving around.
Moving target.
Yeah. I was...
Moving target.
I kept moving. And there were no attempts. There were just the threats. Yeah. And in all those shows, I'd get to the point in my show where I would sing Exodus because it was freshly written.
Right.
This land is mine. Yeah. And so then I would say, this was written for the people of Israel, for the nation of Israel, but I sing it for all like you, whatever your color, race,
come on,
who can sing with me. This land is mine. God gave this land to me.
Come on.
And so I was in Israel a couple of years ago now with Mike Huckabee. I went to Yad Vashem, the Holocaust Museum, and Big Shaya Ben Yehuda, who's sort of the director of the whole place, comes over and literally tears in this big man's eyes. He said, you don't know what those words you wrote for us, for this song, mean to us here, particularly at Yad Vashem. And I know you must have written them on something, a piece of paper or on something, and maybe you've saved it. And if you have, would you be willing to let us have this here at Yad Vashem when you leave this earth? I said, I'd give it to you now, but I need to let you know. I mean, I'd be greatly honored, but I need to let you know the words are written on the back of a Christmas card.
There it is.
Yeah. Yeah. You can see where I crossed out little things and made little and those two stamps, remember S&H green stamps?
Oh my God.
Now what they're doing on that card, I don't remember, but I wrote instrumental. There was an instrumental bridge, see?
Oh my
God.
And
when I presented it to Yad Vashem, and it is now on the wall of the Righteous Gentile at Yad Vashem, the Holocaust Museum.
Amen. That is awesome.
And
that is awesome.
I said maybe it's appropriate. Those two little stamps are there because they're about redemption. That's what those cards. They are redeeming something with those stamps.
Amen.
And of course, God has redeemed and restored Israel. It is His land. And yes, it's occupied. It's occupied by the people who are in their home.
That's right.
They are occupying their home.
That's right.
And so I'm so glad that this service went the direction it has, because obviously we're facing a serious time in this country.
Yes.
We're standing for Israel. We have to also stand for our country in grave peril.
Yes.
And you've made it plain, and what you did with that amendment to the platform. As you've been saying, let's don't think about voting donkey or elephant. Let's vote lamb. And now I don't care if the candidate was Attila the Hun or Pee Wee Herman. And there is a candidate who may remind you of either one right now. But we cannot afford to vote for a candidate. We've got to vote for a platform that supports Israel and the foundational principles of the United States of America.
Come on.
That's our choice.
Yes.
That's the only choice we have.
The only choice. Pat, could I? Amen. I know I didn't ask you to do this, but Could you maybe just briefly tell the story about you being in the bunker with the soldiers?
Yes.
That's an awesome story.
I love this. And again, I get goosebumps. I do. I had been asked by the Israeli army, they have their version of the USO, and they try to support and encourage the troops. And if I remember, I was there doing a TV special. I think it was our family special called Boone Family Christmas in Bethlehem, and we were filming all over Israel. And so the war, when we flew in, Ben Gurion Airport, the walls were still pockmarked with the attack that had taken place, bullet marks all over the airport. And so, you hear it's too dangerous to go there, but everywhere we went, there were just these young Israeli soldiers with these Uzis slung over their shoulders, just casually keeping their eyes on everything, and we felt as secure as we would have in our own bedroom at home. So they asked if I would go up to the outpost, the northernmost outpost below Mount Hermon, in what was at that time occupied Syrian territory, because Henry Kissinger was there at that time, going from Damascus to Cairo to Tel Aviv, trying to work out the line of demarcation, because this was 1967. And the battle, the shellings were pretty much over, except occasionally while I was up in that bunker to just support the troops with a helmet and a flak jacket on and standing in the bunker, talking to the commander of that outpost, knowing it was occupied Syrian territory. Occasionally there'd be an incoming and a shell, and if the other guys around me, the soldiers, didn't duck, I thought, well, what am I worried about? I'm down here in the bunker with him. And the ground would shake, and we'd just go on talking. And I said to the commander, I said, my theory is, and you said, it's just my own personal theory, God is restoring the land of Israel to its original boundaries in the time of David. This is his land, it's your land, and he's restoring it all. And the commander said to me, I hope you're wrong. Really? Yeah. Because it means more fighting, more bloodshed. And we would even give up land, he said, if we could have peace. We would give up some of the land we have. I said, well, it's just my theory, but I think God is restoring the land to the boundaries of the time of David. And then they asked me to sing, and I said, well, which ones of my songs do you know? And then like a chorus, they said, Speedy Gonzales, sing Speedy Gonzales. You better come home, Speedy Gonzales. So I sang it with no music, and then I said, let me sing something a little more appropriate. And I told them about having written the words, and so standing there in the bunker, I sang with no music, this land is mine, God gave this land to me, in the bunker. Now, I went home safe. About a year later, I was in the office of Prime Minister Rabin, and I told him about this episode that had occurred up in that bunker. And he said, where were you? I said, it was below Mount Hermon in that northernmost outpost. It was part of Syria. Yep. And he said, just a moment. And he went to the map. He looked, you sang a prophecy. I sang a prophecy. Where you sang that night is part of the new map of Israel.
Come on, come on.
This land is mine.
God gave this land.